Hey guys, welcome back to markdillon.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. But make sure you give the new markdillon.com a look over. I think you're really going to like it. Lots of cool stuff. I just got off the phone with my web people today, so there's some exciting new things coming. We're constantly looking for ways to make the site more interactive. Also, I have my new guest blogging feature, so if you would like to sign up as a guest blogger, you can talk about anything you like, from sex, life, love, gay and lesbian life, anything you want. Just send me an email, and you'll have free access to the blogging portion of the site, and you can write down anything you want. You can add the links to your social media, or you can do it completely anonymous. But if you have any interesting stories you'd like to share, life experiences you think other people would benefit from, or even your take on things going on in the adult entertainment industry, particular models, whatever it is. The only rules are you can express an opinion. You don't have to like anybody or everybody or everything, but you don't get to be negative. You don't get to be hateful. You don't get to spread rumors or gossip or any untrue things. But other than that, you have free reign to talk about anything you want. So I hope you'll check that out too. We actually had a very interesting guest blog a couple days ago from Mary Gresham, who is a lady who is really into gay porn, and she gave us her take on gay for pay actors in the adult film industry. So pretty neat. Anyway, check out the new markdillon.com. Today we have a question from Rob. Rob emailed me about a year ago about an escort that he thought he was in love with. And now it looks like he thinks the escort is in love with him. So here we go. He says, about a year ago, I wrote to you about my perplexity because I was falling in love with my escort. You recommended I establish some boundaries with him, and I try several escorts to create a little distance. I have continued to see him on a regular basis, but have seen others as well. And I've had other escorts join us for threesomes. Recently, he has told me that he loves me too, and that he would prefer that I not go out with other escorts unless it's for a threesome. And even then, not for overnights, because that's our thing. I'm touched that he wants to preserve our relationship in this way. A cynical friend told me that it's just about the money, but I think not. I'm the only client that he allows to fuck him bareback. We are both regularly tested, and I don't do anal with other escorts at all. Brian charges me much less than his other client and lies to his wife about how much he's getting from me. He can't meet me for free because escorting is his only source of income. He and I regularly go to a dance club in St. Louis. I take dancers into the back room occasionally and enjoy oral with them. Brian doesn't feel jealous because he understands the dancers depend on privates for their income, and my generosity brings both of us a lot more attention from the dancers. I don't do anals with the boys in the back room, but I've invited some of the dancers for threesomes to our hotel. I suppose 90% of the gay world would think that I'm a foolish old man, and 100% of the straight world would think that my life is perverse. Brian and I have found a comfort level with each other that is very satisfying. I will be on my current job for another year and will face a sad parting if I have to move away from him. A lot can happen in a year. I enjoy your wisdom very much. I realize you must be very busy because you haven't written much lately. All right, Rob. Well, thank you for the email and giving me the opportunity to answer your question. I have been quite busy working on some big upgrades to the new site, as I said earlier. So, all right, Rob, you're not going to like this because I am going to have to agree with your cynical friend. Have you ever heard the song "What's Love Got to Do with It"? Well, in this case, Rob, love has nothing to do with this. There may be some crazy sense of distorted attraction that you've tried to create into a great love, or that he's trying to convince you is love, but it's not. Your friend is right. But I'll answer that a little bit further for you. So what you're trying to do, Rob, is you're trying to write a great romance novel with invisible ink. You can write it and you can make it as hot and steamy and passionate and everything else. It's not going to last long because you've written it with invisible ink. That's what you've done here. You have to remember that you're living out a fantasy with this guy, and that you really have to keep a very strong grasp on reality so that you don't let yourself become disillusioned into thinking that it's something that it's not. So let's take it a little bit further. If you, how many people do you know that have great love with each other, or really care about each other, that charge one another for their time? And how many people do you know that are really attracted to one another that charge each other for intimate encounters? Doesn't happen. Let me explain to you what you already know. The way most escorting works is you have somebody who is trading money for an intimate time with somebody who otherwise would not be attracted to them. And that's okay. You know what? The person provides the service, the other one takes advantage of it. And that is perfectly fine, but you have to remember it is what it is. Um, now, if he really loved you, he would not be charging you for his time. If he was really attracted to you, he would not be charging you for the time you two spend together messing around. That's the that and that is the base fact that is the decider for this conversation. If he really loved you, he wouldn't be charging you for the time. And I don't care what his circumstances are. Love should trump all that. Now, you say he can't do it for free because escorting is his only means of income. This brings me to another point, Rob. If you're such an important client to him that he can't supplement his income from the other clients and see you as just a friend with benefits at no extra charge, if you're that important to him that he can't make up the difference with other people without charging you, don't you think that it's logical that he doesn't want you to see other escorts unless he's part of it? Because that's money out of his pocket. That's his way of saying, you're cutting into my business. And if you can't see that, Rob, there's a little something going on. As I told you in my previous reply, the human mind is quite remarkable about its ability to distort reality. Have you ever seen on any of these TV shows a mother who is convinced her child is innocent of some crime, no matter how compelling the evidence, no matter how obvious it is? She has distorted reality to make it what she wants it to be. She thinks he was set up or framed, or her baby boy, her baby girl could just never do anything like that. And the mind does that in all areas of life. Um, you have to be able to say, listen, let me put my thinking cap on. If this wasn't me involved, what would I tell someone? And as I said, the human mind has an incredible ability to distort reality. In some ways, the human mind is similar to the human egg. When one sperm enters the egg shuts down, so no other sperm can get in there. And the mind can do the same things. We think a certain idea gets into our head, and we like the way that idea makes us feel. And sometimes the mind begins to close itself down to any contrary evidence that may say this idea is not right. This line of thinking is not correct. So don't let your brain become oblivious to the obvious. And, here's a perfect example. I was in San Francisco about a year ago. And there was this gorgeous kid. I mean, I didn't know he was gorgeous at the time, but he sent me an email. He wanted to hire me for a massage. And I said, okay, sure. He said, I'm a big fan. I've always wanted to meet you, and I'd love to get a massage from you. So I said, come on over. I had a great apartment overlooking the bay. And he's like, oh, my goodness, this is such a nice apartment. And we talked, and we had something to drink. And then I started his massage for him. Turned into a lot more than a massage at my doing, because he was so freaking hot. 22, 23 years old, had done modeling for a lot of his life, and could get with anybody he wants. But he was a fan of mine. So after we got done with everything, he said, oh, this was so much fun. He gets ready to pay for the massage. And I said, absolutely not. I can't take the money from you. I had a ton of fun, and I just don't, I don't feel right charging for this. So thank you very much. I had another instance like that happen with a young man who had never been with an escort, but it was a fantasy of his. Again, I had a ton of fun. It was really enjoyable. Came time for him to pay. I said, I don't feel, you're so cute. This was so much fun. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Was my fantasy. I've always wanted to hire an escort. I said, well, I'm sorry, but I can't, I don't feel right taking your money. So he said, well, can I take you out to dinner? I said, of course, that'll work. We went out to a nice dinner, a beautiful French restaurant. But that's what you do when you're really attracted to somebody. Um, uh, Another example. This does not involve somebody I was sexually attracted to, but there have been several people that I've met in a professional capacity that I've become very good friends with. We share similar interests in life and learning and reading about business and investing and all that good stuff. And we've become friends and would go out to dinner. And eventually, it got to the point where I thought of this person as a real friend, a friend who I wasn't sexually attracted to, but a friend nonetheless. Um, and so eventually I would have to tell some of these people, listen, this is getting a little bit weird for me. I can't continue to do both of this. So let's just be friends. There's plenty of other people you can see in a professional capacity, and there's plenty of other people I can as well. So why don't we just be friends, because this is getting a little awkward for me. I don't feel right about it. Now, some people get offended by that, and other people say, you know what, I appreciate that. And we've become very good friends. That means when we go out to dinner, sometimes I pay the bill, sometimes he'll pay the bill, sometimes we'll split it. But because I have a genuine friendship with this person, I can't continue to act disingenuously with them in one certain area. Meaning I can't pretend that there's some attraction that's not there. If you're meeting somebody for one time, or there's never really a real friendship that develops, it's okay to play the part of a fantasy. But when a real friendship or a real love starts to emerge, you have to act genuinely in all aspects of that relationship. And you have to eliminate the parts of it that cause you to act disingenuously. So that's what I've done. Now, maybe it's slightly different for me because I don't need the money. So I've got lots of investments that do well. I live a great life. And I'm adding to the pot with meeting people, of course, and substantially. But it's money that, it doesn't do a ton for me one way or another. It goes into my brokerage account. I buy stocks with it. I don't need it to live on or anything like that. It provides me lots of substantial working capital at a young age to put towards my investing, which there is no better way to, if you're good with managing money and you can acquire a lot of it at a young age, that's, you can't think of anything better. But I digress. So that's what I do. And you know what? Everybody has that option. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of money, but he still has the option to say, Rob, listen, I like you. I really care about you. And I'm possibly attracted to you. I'm going to forego charging you. It could be tough, but I'm just going to have to figure out a way to make the money up in some other way. I can't take it from you. I care too much about you. That's what you do if you care about somebody, Rob. That's what you do if you care about somebody, if you love someone. Now, it's okay that he wants to spend time with you, and that you're a good client of his, and that he likes you as a client. But that doesn't mean that he loves you. It sounds like he's being a great escort, a lot of fun for you. You think he's gorgeous. And this brings me to another point. So if you understand that escorting is his only means of income, and obviously he doesn't have enough clients that he could not charge you, why do you accept the discount if you really care about him? Shouldn't you want, if you really care about him, not to think, oh boy, I'm getting a bargain. Wahoo! Get in that whole extra time a week. Shouldn't you want to pay the full rate so you can see this guy you care about do well? I have some friends that don't do as well as me. Either they don't know how to manage money, or they don't know how to invest, or they just don't make as much. When we go out for dinner, I pay the bill. If we go out to a movie, I'll buy their ticket. If I can help them in a way that's reasonable, I will. Because I care about them. That's my friend. I want to see them do well. And if it's money that's meaningless to me, and it does something for them, why not? So, if you really care about this guy, I wouldn't accept the discount. I would say, listen, you do such a good job. I have so much fun with you. and I'm seeing other guys, I'm paying them their full rate, I'll pay you your full rate as well. That's what I think you should do. Um, I just feel that you have to be uh, keep your feet grounded in reality when it comes to this stuff. And that's hard because what you're doing is living out a fantasy, and you don't want to pop that bubble. But at the end of the day, you have to realize you met this kid under professional circumstances. You're a client of his. Um, Chances are, if you had met him in any other way, there would not be this attraction. He would not be pursuing you, and you just have to accept that. For example, let's assume you go out and you plant apple seeds, and this beautiful tree grows up, and you go out and you harvest the fruit, and you put it in your blender, and you take a sip, and you say, why don't I have orange juice? I wanted orange juice in the morning. Where's my orange juice? I can't believe this. This is so confusing. Well, you planted the wrong seeds. And in this case, I can promise you, the seeds of a great love were not sown the day you met this young man. It is what it is. If you learn to accept it for what it is, and you can enjoy it for what it is, you won't have to deal with the problems that come from trying to make it into something that it's not. So, Rob, here's what I would advise you to do. Just enjoy it. Recognize that it is a professional arrangement. He probably does like you more than most of his clients, but it's still an escort client relationship as long as you're paying him. Now, the day that he stops charging you for his time and the day he stops charging you for intimate encounters, you can start to say, well, maybe he does love me. Maybe it's more than this. But I don't believe that you're two star-crossed lovers who managed to come together because of the world of escorting, and that there's no other way for you to be together. I don't believe that. So I'm going to agree with your cynical friend. I'm going to tell you to look at this as you would any other investment. My grandpa taught me from a young age how to evaluate companies, how to allocate capital properly, how to make wise investments. I bought my first stock when I was 13 or 14. And I would advise you to realize that everything you do in life, you're making an investment. In this case, you're not investing, it's not just money, but it's your emotional well-being, your emotional capital, and your time. Your time and your emotional capital are really, really precious, and they're very finite. So don't invest them in unsafe investments. Just say, this is a fun time. This is some disposable income I have. I'm just going to enjoy it. But don't put yourself out there so that you get hurt, or you get your feelings upset, or you feel really upset when you have to move away from this guy. Enjoy it for what it is. Don't try to invest yourself into something that's not going to produce a good return. And this is not going to produce the return that you think it is. What it'll do is it'll give you some physical intimacy and some fun times and the joy of some companionship. It's not going to give you great love. It's not going to give you this great romance. It's not there. And do you expect him to tell you anything else than that he really likes you, he loves you, you're the only one for this, you're the only one you may be, I don't know. I can't read his mind. But from my opinion, I would tell you, just enjoy it for what it is, Rob. Stop trying to convince yourself that either he loves you or you love him. It's the mind playing tricks on you. So thank you for the question. Feel free to send me an email if you have anything you'd like to add to that. But there you go. That's my 2 cents, and it may be worth exactly what you paid for it. Guys, thanks again for tuning in to the newmarkdillon.com. Have a great day.